Hey Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today for SpiegelMom Scraps, and I am sharing with you another shaker pocket layout. This is the layout. It was created using some die cuts, some sequins, and some simple stories. So I had these die cuts that I had cut out with my silhouette. I created them in different sizes, and then I amended the digital die cut so that I could cut pattern paper with which to back them. It's easy to do if you just use the outline function and put it at 0%. And then I wanted to color with my Jane Davenport watercolors the green leafy part of the flower so that there was a little bit more green in the layout. The pattern papers that I used were based around the Easter simple set that came out at Creativation this year, and I only had 3 of the pattern papers and wanted a little bit more of that tealy green as well as that rosé pink. And so I pulled a piece from another one of the simple sets. Actually, I think they might have both come from the simple set. So I just pulled coordinating pieces, and so the green floral is what's backing the flowers, as well as that pink rose, and that is from the not from the Easter collection. So basically what I did here was I just watered down some of the green Jane Davenport watercolors, and I'm just using my water brush to brush on color so that the leaves are green, and then they have the flower that is going to be the same green and that rose pink kind of color. This particular leaf ended up being much darker than what I was originally going for. However, it ended up working really well with the green in the grass in the photo that the 4 of us are standing on. So what I did was I printed those other digital cut files. You can see kind of the wreath there, and then I cut them so that they sat kind of like a nest in that pink polka dot paper. And then to mimic the, if you look closely at the pink polka dot paper, the polka dots have white printed font in them, and so to mimic that, what I did was I just took a big stamp and I used some brown ink. I believe that is Tim Holtz Distress Ink, and I just stamped that giant stamp in the center of the circle there in order to provide a little bit of a background. And I knew that I was going to cover most of it, so I wasn't worried about being perfect with the stamp either. So this is another cut file, and I'm just going to overlay it, which creates a nice border to contain it's like what I said earlier, it's kind of a nest or a wreath. So I've created an Easter wreath with some flowers around it that is then going to nestle the pictures of this. So one of the pictures is the 4 of us, my family, on Easter last Easter, and then my husband and I in our Easter outfits. So I've let these dry, the watercolor, and now I'm just going to put the backing of those flowers together using my Prima glue pen. And I have 4 flowers, 2 are pink and 2 are the green, and they're just going to decorate the wreath and the layout. So there's lots of circles in this theme, and I am repeating the circles for it's kind of mimicking in many ways the eggs of Easter. So just lining those up, and I could have added extra color to it for a little added pop, but I really liked the subtleness of the flowers, especially with the green leaves against the really stark contrast of that dark brown of the wreath there, or nest. So now I want to arrange these in such a way that the pictures will not sit on top of each other, and because of the way that I have arranged the wreath and the flowers, there really isn't a lot of room, and I didn't want the pictures to sit on top of each other. So you can see there how they sit on top of each other, and that's fine because there is white space in the picture, but it wasn't the look that I was going for, so I have to kind of move the pictures around in order to get them so they're not overlapping, and it ends up working out better with the leaves being the way they are, with the tall picture down the bottom, and that green leaf with the dark leaves the green flower with the dark leaves above it, so that there isn't just this weight of green at the bottom of the layout, which is why I moved that green flower up to the top there. So I cut out a title, and as well as I fussy cut that little banner that says "He is risen" from one of the cut-aparts, and then I cut a title that just said Easter, and I did that with my silhouette, and the font that I used to cut out Easter is called Aldine, A-L-D-I-N-E. It was a free download for me. I also fussy cut, you can see those flowers to the right of where I'm working. I fussy cut a few flowers that look just like that. That are actually on the back of the pattern paper with the pink polka dots, or the white polka dots with the pink background. That's where those flowers were, and I fussy cut from the center a few of those, again, just for a little bit more punctuation of color. And I love the way that the greens match the green of my husband's shirt. So now the theme this month is shaker pockets, and I really wanted something to close out that space there, and so I went with a super simple shaker pocket. If you're ever looking for some fun movement on your page, all you have to do is get a Scrapbook Adhesives Keepsake Envelope, and I used a small one. It came from the mix pack, and then I poured in some of my SpiegelMom Scraps sequins, and the mix that I used is Vintage Spring, and I literally sealed the envelope closed and stuck the envelope, because it is self-adhesive, onto my scrapbook page. So that is the easiest shaker pocket you can ever come up with. Dead simple, but so effective in having just a little bit of movement on your page and adding a fun literal shake of color there. So I highly recommend, if you're not into the fuse, if you're not into a sewing machine, investing in some of the Scrapbook Adhesives keepsake pockets. So that, my friends, is pretty much the entire layout. One thing that I do end up doing off camera is I have a butterfly that I used on a previous SpiegelMom Scraps layout, and I will end up sticking the butterfly on top of on the corner of my shaker pocket there. And again, it's not necessary, but it just adds a little bit of movement. And I like the way that the see-throughness of this shaker pocket, you can see that stamped background there. One of the other things that I do also end up doing off camera is just adding 2 heart stickers that also come from a Simple Stories collection. It's just a sticker book that I happen to have. So that, my friends, is my second video of the month showing you how to create a shaker pocket. Last week I used Pretty Little Studio and created a really cool layout with that, doing some sewing. So thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're inspired to play along and make some shaker pockets. If you make anything doing a suggestion that I did, please do share. We'd love to see what you come up with. Thanks for joining me today. Enjoy the close-ups. Take care, and hope to see you back here next week.